Hello everyone, it's me, Bets, and I am here with you today with some ideas and tips for the Irresistible Bloom set by Stampin' Up. I've been playing with this for about a week and a half, and I also have the coordinating dies. So first let me talk to you a little bit about the stamp set itself. It is the really nice, deep etched, beautiful rubber stamp. So I like these. There's pros and cons to everything. One of the reasons why I like these so much is you get a really nice, crisp stamp every time. And you don't have to have a foam block under you. It also works well in the Misty, which is where I do all of my stamping. It comes with, you have to place these on. I've noticed that with Stampin' Up, it always comes with the image. It's a clear image that you place, and I was placing it on backwards because the top is sticky, but then I discovered that they're all sticky, and it needs to be done like this because what happens is when you go and you place it on your cling foam, since it is rubber, it will stick. So you need to make sure that you definitely get these on. I remember when I first started using the rubber deep etch stamps and they came with the optional stickers to stick on, I was like, well, I don't really need that. It's just cut in the shape and yada, yada, yada. And it will cling to your clear block, but I did have problems with it falling off before. So definitely make sure that you use your stickers on this, because they're not only there just to show you how the alignment of the stamp is, but they really do serve a purpose in that it helps you keep your stamp attached to your block. So it comes with these lovely stamps. And so I think on the front it has all of them. Yeah, it has all of them. My favorite one of everything, believe it or not, ended up being this one right here. It's the paint splatter one. I love paint splatter look, but the problem is I tend to get my little flicks of paint everywhere. So this is a neat way to do that. Then I also got the coordinating dies with it. And let me show you, because there are some extras in here that don't have stamps. And I love them. So we have here, these are all the dies. This is one of them. I actually ended up buying this die set because of this circular one right here. I was like, holy cow, I love that one. That's beautiful. I want to play with it. Then it has the regular ones that, go with your image. These go with the image. This one goes with the image. And then it has these extra little leaves. And so I really like this die set. So I have a couple tips for you. And then also I'm going to share with you some of my cards that I made with this to give you some ideas if you have this set. If you don't have this set and you like this set, I do have the link provided for you down below. It is my Stampin' Up website. I do make a small commission on it. So if you shop there, that definitely helps me out. And let's go on to this. So first thing is I always like to stamp in the Misty. And the one thing that I discovered with this, first of all, so I like to go in and die cut my images first. And I do it on a really good piece of cardstock. And then from there, I use this to pop my cutout in and then layer my stamp over it, pick it up with the Misty, ink it up, and then stamp it. And I can just keep doing this over and over again, and I'll get usually perfectly centered stamps. The problem with rubber stamps, and this is the only con that I found, was it doesn't really work with this particular way of stamping. I don't know what my problem is, but I couldn't make it work. So what I ended up doing was stamping first and then taking tape. And if you don't have some of this paper tape, just use masking tape that you have linted up. So just take your masking tape and tape it on your jeans or your shirt just to get it so it's sticky, but it's not going to tear your paper. That'll totally work. And so I ended up stamping my image. Then I cut after. I ran it through my machine after, and then I got good images there. Okay, so that's just a little tip if you're using this. The other thing is this comes out in pieces. You will not get a piece that looks like this. So you want to open up your card or whatever you're working on, place this one right here on it, run it through, and then that'll give you your cutout. And so this is what I ended up doing. This is the first card that I made with this. Absolutely love it. And as you can tell, I just opened it up like so, laid my die down, ran it through, and then I inked up, used a little bit of spray water, and then I have my flowers, of course, that I used in addition, and that sentiment. I really like the font on this too. So I ended up on all of mine where they're like these big dots, is I just used some Dream Drops on it. And I really like how it ended up looking. To get my color here, first what I did was I took my stamp pad and I took one of my domes and I just colored up the paper. Then I stamped on top of that same color. And then from there, on that one I did, this one I did a different color. From there, I ran it through the die machine and I ended up adhering it with the honeycomb style foam dots that are also Stampin' Up. And then voila, this is what I got. This, thankfully, I'm done with these cards. I don't like these cards. I found this card set on clearance. I think it was at Michael's. I don't like it because it's really hard to line up evenly. I have a hard time with the scallop edges and the quality is not good. So as I was inking and watering, it would buckle. I was afraid it would start to like, what is it, pilt? You know, when you get those little fuzzy type things. I was afraid it was going to do that. So I'm happy that I used it up. It turned out pretty, but as you can tell, I mean, I have literally had stuff weighed down on the edges, and you're going to see my other cards, and they are not perfect yet. All right, so the second card I made was with this one, and I used that die to create this, and then I just layered on. This actually was a pickup. So when I did this card, I ended up getting ink all over, but I didn't want to waste it. So I watered it down really good. And then I just took my card, I dipped it in my card, and then voila, I let that dry, and there we go. So I really, really love how this one turned out. And like I said, I originally bought this set for this, but I ended up enjoying this piece so much more than I had anticipated. Then from there, after I had, so the next two cards, okay, bear with me here. The next two, so I'm going to show you the next one. Okay, so anyway, I'm trying to show you the process I went through. All right, so this one, the next one I did was I had cut these originally in white cardstock, and I was like, okay, I want to get this a pink. So I almost started to dab on the pink, and then I thought, wait a minute, this would be a really cool stencil. So what I did was I took this and I laid this out like this, and I stenciled it Okay, so I stenciled it over. Then I had that piece is ready to go. And then I ended up taking a darker pink on the bottom and just kind of ombreing it up, you know, and I used that fantastic splatter here. And then I just did a simple sentiment. So this was really just I call them my junker cards. They're the ones that I kind of want to experiment with, but I'm also preparing something else in addition, and I'm kind of using it like a scrap. And so I really like how that one turned out too. So I thought it was cool. And then here's another example of that paint splat. I just love the paint splat. I like to take my stamp sets and matching dies and eventually sell them because I just play with them and then I'm done. But this one, I think I'm going to have to just keep because of that paint splat. I just love it. So much use for it. Okay, and then the last one. So for this one, even though I was sitting here doing this and I had this pink going out, and you know, obviously I'm going off of the card, right? So again, I have a mess on my mat. So I water it down and I do my pickup with this one. And I did a pickup on that, and you can really see the water drops in it. And then I just did a simple hello with that same font. And then I added those pieces to it, and I had these 4 cards. And I still have enough left over. So these are the ones that I created with this set right here. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your favorite? I'm just curious. Do you like A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D? I'm just curious. Drop your comments down below. I'd love to know. All right, so I am left with these pieces right here. And I'm not really sure what I want to do with them yet. And I'm over trying to force creativity. What I mean by that is when I used to work in the arts and craft industry full time, and you know, I needed to get a video for a company, and I may have been totally uninspired. So I would literally force creativity, and it dampened it for me, the experience. So I no longer am forcing creativity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to store them in here along with my dies. And then I will just keep this stored. And the next time I open this up, I will have these pieces, and usually I will be inspired to create. I was going to force myself to create something with you today on this video. That's why it's taken me over a week to get something out. But I just didn't have anything. And so I'm like, you know what? Instead of trying to do the forced creativity, I'm just going to store it. I'm going to show you guys what the cards I made, my thinking process through it, tips and hints that I have, and then, you know, be honest about how I'm not going to use this right now, but I am going to save it, and that's okay. And you know what? If you ever make something and you end up not wanting it and you know you're never going to use it again, throw it away. It's just paper. So you totally can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I know I used to hang on to everything. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you before I wrap this up is I don't buy colored cardstock anymore. The only cardstock I buy is white, really good cardstock, because that is so important on how your ink takes to it. And if you're using any kind of water as your medium, you have to have a good smooth type cardstock for good ink. I also will occasionally buy black cardstock so that I can do die cutting some of the words or things out of that, and then craft too. Those are my 3 colors. The reason why I don't buy colored cardstock anymore is, number 1, it's expensive to have that much color. Number 2, I just don't have the storage that I used to. And I like to just custom create my colors with the white cardstock. And all I do with that is I just take my ink pads and my foam, and I just color the white cardstock, and then I can die cut or stamp or whatever. And that is how I end up with different colors. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I will get back and answer them for you. I am going to leave with you my Stampin' Up, my Stampin' Up link down below. And then I also, usually there's a sheet right here for the clear, cling foam, the cling stamps. And I will put my, actually, oh, I can still do this, okay? Because I was going to say, and I'll put my die cuts in the same container with it. But since it doesn't have it, I don't want the die cuts to ruin my stamp. But I think we're okay. So I actually save these. I save these, and I put entire sets of cards in here, so that the cards stay nice. One thing also you want to know is if you do any of these liquid dots or drops, they will flatten out in here. That's just goes with the territory. All right, so I'm going to take this. I don't want there to be any chance that this is going to get onto these. So I am going to, in the center here, I am going to put all of my die cuts that I did not use with this stamp set. All right, and I don't transfer over my die cuts into my stamp set container until I've tried it, until I've used it. After I've used it once, played with it for as much as I can get out of it for that week or that play session, then I go ahead and I combine it all together so I can store it easily. All right, so that's going to go there. And then I'm just going to place all of these cut side up in here. And this way, I always have my dies with my stamps. And it's ready to go next time. And I just store it on my shelf. And they store so nicely. I mean, I love a good Rubbermaid stamp, and the fact that I don't have to have the blocks anymore and everything stores, and this is amazing. All right, again, I will have my Stampin' Up posted for you down below, as well as another link where you can go to find the Nuvo, because I don't think Stampin' Up offers it. But everything else I did Stampin' Up, except for these really crappy scallop card bases. Don't get those. They're awful. I think there's a reason why they were on clearance. If you have not followed me, I would appreciate it so much if you could. I no longer have my YouTube monetized. I solely am doing this just for enjoyment and sharing my art with you. So if you're inspired by anything I've used, if you can please use my link, that really helps me out, and it helps fund my channel and my time so I can continue to bring you more content. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up and share it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Until next time, happy crafting.